All right, hello.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, we're all ready to record. We're talking. All right, this is a classic return to form for Hideout. If you get what
Yes.
I'm, if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Funny.
Today, yeah, we're gonna be doing a Hideout rundown for Forms All Nighter Volume 6. We're each gonna be going through our top tens. I'll introduce each member one by one, I guess. I'm Aaron. We have Gavin here.
My home address is 19 Jersey.
Next,
Okay.
we have Kaitlyn.
Sorry.
Next, we have Kevin.
Hi.
What's good? My name is Kevin, and I hate North Andover, Massachusetts.
Whoa, offensive.
Don't we all? Next up, we have an esteemed special guest, a member of the musical supergroup Blue Chair, Knowledge, aka Antonym.
There's a park in the roundabout.
What are you talking about?
What? All right,
What has gotten into you?
just gonna move right
Off the
along.
rails.
Next up, we have Ruben M.
I love North Andover, Massachusetts.
Wow,
Yes.
Leave.
Some
Get out of here.
Conflict. Some conflict in this call.
political discussion has become so polarized these days. And next up, we have Satiny, aka Josh.
Yeah. It is 1 a.m. and I'm delirious right now, so
All right, this should be fun.
Fucking Brit.
yeah.
All right,
Satin, he's
Shut
at the
up.
he's at the pub right now.
Yeah, I'm at the pub.
Would you like
I've
to
got a beer
explain?
right now.
he's at the
Would you like
pub,
to explain how we're going to be
slogging.
We got
doing
the
this?
tea in it.
So the format of this is we're each going to be going through our top tens, but it's not going to be too long. Probably, it might be an hour, but who knows? But obviously, like if a second person has the same song as what was already mentioned before, we will just skip it. I mean, we could go in the order of the voice call, but I don't really care if anyone like wants to go first.
I'll go first.
Okay.
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 All right.
All right. Okay.
All right,
so
all right,
hi.
all right.
My name's Kaitlyn. In my top 10 for Form All Nighter Volume 6, we're gonna start off with number 10,
Yep.
and that'll be One by One by Former Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And
Okay.
since
Now
I'm doing my
explain yourself.
top 10 first, I guess I'll go first. And I'll say that for when I heard this album for the first time in the listening party, I didn't really like this, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't really like it. But then after I bought the album off Bandcamp and I listened to it again, this one grew on me significantly. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
other songs on my top 10. But this one definitely grew on me from being, wow, this is really disappointing, to wow, this is like actually really good.
All right. I also really like this song. The outro is a little bit, it leaves something to be desired, but the intro is really nice. I think it's heavenly is a word that I would use to describe it. And the drop, I think it's a bit of an acquired taste, honestly, because I had a similar reaction to Kaitlyn. The first couple listens, it was a little off-putting. The notes like feel a little sharp, and even now I don't think it's his best drop. But I think it sounds pretty good in context, especially the way that the intro kind of leads into it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good song. Obviously, as all of these songs are, it's impressive that it was made in 24 hours. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I would definitely agree. I think Former Hero's strongest attribute is his ability to create atmospheres, and that's put on full display in this song here. And I like the drop. I think I like it a little more than you guys. It didn't make my list, but it's a very nice song, and like you said, it's really impressive for what it is.
In my opinion, I wasn't a massive fan of this song. I feel like Former Hero's done a lot better. I don't like the darker atmosphere in the drop, and I just don't like how I don't like how the bass is just kind of comes in randomly at times. It just doesn't sound appealing to me. Overall, the song is just too the drop is just too deep housey for me. I don't know if you guys get that vibe. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of house at all.
Still the music.
It's like if it was slower, it would literally just be deep house. I just don't like that kind of music. But Former Hero makes some amazing music otherwise. So that's just my take.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
agree. I'm gonna have to agree with Gavin on my opinion on the song. I didn't really like it that much, and even listening to it again, it just seems kind of underwhelming for a former hero.
Yeah, the drop doesn't pack as much punch as I expected it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here, which is surprising to me because I'm a huge fan of songs like Undertow and River Call Me, which kind of have those kind of deeper drops with less melody. And I really like those drops, but I don't know, something about this song just doesn't click with me as much as his other songs do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to agree with most people here. I think the drop's quite underwhelming, but as Aaron rightly said, I think the intro is really gorgeous in the way it creates the soundscape. But yeah, I just think the transition from off drop to drop is very jarring, and I don't think there's much momentum throughout the drop. I don't think it carries too much. So yeah.
All right, so okay, this one's gonna be a little bit of a controversial theme, but my number
Webcage.
9. Oh, we'll get to that eventually. My number 9 is Jellyfish Murder Spree.
Yes,
by
that's actually a
Grape,
good
Milk,
song.
and JUKO.
Yes.
That's knowledge is a stan.
I am a
when
stan of that
first-
song.
When I first heard this song on the listening party, I was like genuinely like surprised at the reaction I was getting from my fellow Hideout members while listening to this. I felt like I was the odd one out that actually enjoyed the song while everybody was taking massive shits on it. I was like, do I even put this on my top 10, or do I risk
No,
getting harassed
those are the
for
best
it?
for the list. Those are the best.
Yeah, and there's plenty more to come on my top 10. So yeah,
Oh, boy.
this song is like really like I just go nuts to this song, honestly. I really like it.
I'm just gonna come out and say you are not the only one with it on your
Yeah,
list.
yeah, same here.
Oh.
That song's on my list too.
Okay, we're gonna split down
it's
the
a-
middle here.
It's a very profound song
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
the disaster that is ocean pollution, raising awareness towards the situation and how it does affect aquatic life really badly in the
I
ocean.
can't tell if you're trolling or not right now.
Yeah, the way you said that was so deadpan. Like I couldn't tell if it was a joke.
Yeah.
Into the lyrics, people, they're very deep. No, I actually do enjoy the song. It's really fun. I was listening to it today. Just like I like it. It's fun. That's all I really have to say about it. There's
There's nothing
nothing
wrong
else
with
to it. It's short. I wish it was a little longer for what it was. When it gets faster, it's really cool. And I also just like the reggae sound of the first half of the song. I think that just adds to the bounciness and just the upbeatness to how the song sounds.
True.
I don't know. I don't really remember this one too much, if I'm being honest. But I don't think I hated it. I remember like it had a pretty fun instrumental or whatever. And if this was my first all-nighter comp, I'd probably be a little more put off by the just the lyrics. Like these are very kind of like silly lyrics and stuff, and that's very
Yeah.
I hate
that's
Jellyfish.
very like
Kill 'em.
on brand for these all-nighter comps. And like I don't really have that
Yeah.
much to say about it, honestly.
Yeah, I sort of agree with Ruben. I don't remember it too much, but from what I do remember, I think it's quite a standard all-nighter song in that you could tell the artists were having fun while making the song. And I think it's pretty impressive what they accomplished in 24 hours.
Okay, so coming back to kind of what Ruben said, how it was like a fun song, or I don't know who said that, but somebody did. Anyways, I kind of really like how this song kind of turns into like a trance song in like the second half. I really like that. Also, I don't know, but the song kind of feels SpongeBob inspired in a way.
True, it does.
Fair comparison.
Yeah.
Facts.
I think we're ready to move on, but unfortunately,
Wait, I have not spoken on
Oh.
the song yet.
Oh,
whoa,
Oh,
Aaron has some
okay.
strong
I have
thoughts
some
about
strong
Jellyfish
feelings.
Murder
Yeah,
Spree
he's got
about this.
by Grape Milk and JUKO.
Yeah.
All right. I'll preface by saying I think obviously it's impressive that it was made in 24 hours, right? But I mean,
that's not a good sign.
Oh boy.
listen, I don't have. It's not that bad. I mean, to its credit, I also agree that especially for a hyperpop song, it's interesting for a song to have like lyrical content that like is really like completely detached from. I mean, it's like it's not like personal or I don't know. Maybe to Grape Milk and JUKO it is, but I mean, it's kind of fun to see just a song with completely like silly Like
Yeah,
like a
just
completely
totally
absurd
like
Yeah.
premise.
nonsensical lyrics. It just
Yeah.
leaned into it.
I think they were having a lot
Ruben
of fun
just,
with this.
Ruben just
Yeah.
swinging out with insults. You just called it complete nonsense. But
Classic Ruben.
what I will say is that hyperpop, like this kind of hyperpop, is not for me. I don't think that there's anything like interesting melodically with it. Like I just wouldn't I wouldn't choose to listen to it, but it's a good song. Like it's made well, you know, to their credit. But yeah.
All right, next we have, my favorite. Whoa.
Bless you.
We have my
God
Dude.
bless you.
my favorite boy band of all time, Brockhampton. No,
Yes.
with so much to tell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this was like when I first, because I think this is like the second or third track on All Nighter 6. So when this came on the listening party, like it was this one specific part where like the bass was like purposely clipping, and I was just like in love with that shit. Like that just like hit harder than like any other song on this comp. Like that did it like the best. The song does the clipping bass the best. And like that's just not even like part of the song. And this is only like number 8. Like this album grew on me significantly since the listening party. Yeah, because that's like near the end of the song, and so like I didn't even talk about the beginning of the song. Whoever does the vocals here, it might be BH. I don't know how many people are associated with that alias, but dude, like, oh, I love the vocals on this song. And I also like just the instrumental mixing in to the clipping bass part. I just really like the clipping bass part.
I think I agree with a lot of the things you said. This one's also on my list. At the end, like that final drop with the clipping bass is just heavenly. Again, it's blissful. Just the way that like there are all these pads in the background, and the atmosphere is just really like it gives me chills. But yeah, the rest of the song it's pretty fun in its own right. Love the vocals. I mean, it's just very well done. Like it's kind of what I expected from BH, but honestly, I think it surpassed. Like I guess what I would have expected in 24 hours. You know, it's interesting. Like it changes up the structure a lot, and you know, I dig this song a lot as well.
It's a fun song. It's pretty good. I think Aaron kind of said it all. So unless you guys have anything to
Yeah.
say,
One thing I will say is I do think it's a good song. The 4 on the floor part at the start of the first drop. I think this is the song. I'm not a fan of that part, but otherwise I do really enjoy it. Yeah.
We are like totally different. I love 4 on the floor. So
That's fair.
all right. So number 6 or number 6? No, number 7. We have Nacreous. I don't know how to Nacreous.
Oh,
By
Coach Dog
360.
music.
Yeah, he's not here. Mainly like when I first listened to this, I'm always gonna come back to the listening party because I feel like that's a fair place to start. When I first listened to it, I felt like it left like it was there, like there was energy there that I really liked, but it felt like there was a lot to be desired. But like the more I listened to it, the more like I don't want to say the V word, but it was really like vibey almost. Like it really like puts me into that one like mood, and I'm like, yeah. It really like reminds me of Volant, like that one Volant song, Tabletronic from All Nighter 5, and because there is a there's a significant lack of Volant music on Form All Nighter 6. So this really filled that void of like, because there wasn't really a lot of like funky music on this one like there was on 8 or 5. So
Funky.
I really
She's spitting facts.
yeah.
right.
Funky time.
Yeah.
this one's also on my list. I think I remember listening to this in the listening party again, and I think it was a breath of fresh air on the comp. There's not really another song like this, in my opinion, on the compilation, and it was nice. It came at a point towards the end where you've been listening to music for a while, you're kind of burnt out a little, and it was nice to have that little burst of energy towards the end. But yeah, 360's production is clean as always. I love his drums. They're always really tight and punchy. And the song as a whole, like the bass is very satisfying, the way it slides about and moves around. I do think it's a little bit repetitive. Like, I don't think there's that much variation, which kind of keeps it at a lower spot on my list. But what's being repeated is really good. It's cleanly produced. It's fun. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
All right, I will say I do like this song. It didn't quite make my list. It was at like number 11 or 12. It made the initial draft, but when I was eliminating songs, when I had to really narrow down a top 10, just didn't make the cut. Just because, like, while it is unique in the comp, it isn't really unique, like, in general. Like, there are a lot of songs that I could listen to that do the same thing. That isn't to say that it's a bad song at all. It's a great song. I just personally think that there's other songs I could listen to that kind of do the same thing better. But I will say, it is a very good song. Definitely a breath of fresh air in the comp. I can't really relate to the listening party part because I was working during the listening party, which kind of sucked, but I can definitely see, looking at the surrounding tracks, this would definitely be a breath of fresh air. Yeah, good song.
I kind of agree with Kevin on this one. Obviously, I agree. Like, very exceptionally produced song and very impressive for 24 hours. I think in the world of this kind of music, like, for me personally, there have to be some like cool like production like quirks or like I guess basically what I'm trying to say is that I think this song is a little bit sterile. Like it's kind of cookie cutter, and like I wish that there were some like imperfections almost that would give it like a little more character. Because I feel it's, you know, I kind of listened to it once and I was like, okay, it's one of these songs. But yeah, obviously to 360's credit, the production like that, I honestly, if I were 360, I would take that as a compliment because it means that the production was basically immaculate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, it's just a personal preference thing, like, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, when you can compare it, when you can compare a song with like Volant and Glacier, I'd say that's a pretty good compliment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's a compliment.
It sounds like Haywire and Ellis collab.
It's a bit of a funk explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I liked the song, but I didn't like it as much as his All Nighter Volume 5 song Bliss, which I personally found more enjoyable. But nonetheless, this is still a good song. And I remember during the premiere, we were all spamming in like the chat that this is ouch dog comma music.
It really is.
Hashtag
Yeah.
comma music. Number 6, we have "I Should Grow Up" by Luminism.
Luminism.
Posthumously.
Posthumously.
We don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about it.
The sexual tension in this voice chat is off the chart.
It is. When is it not though?
Okay. So, back on the topic of music, "I Should Grow Up." I haven't listened to a lot of Luminism because I don't think I've listened to their EP, but I did listen to their All Nighter 4 song, and I thought that was pretty. Like I thought it was pretty. I liked it a lot. It was definitely on the top end of that compilation, and same goes for this one. This one I feel is definitely better than their All Nighter 4 song. I probably came back to this one more than I did their All Nighter 4 song. And like it really like takes me back to like it's very nostalgic almost without feeling pandering. Cause like you could call a song nostalgic, but then it'll end up like a half an orange song. But this is like done like nostalgic in a good way.
Like nostalgia baiting.
Yeah, it's not nostalgia baiting, but it's like nostalgia dessert, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And I don't wanna toot my own horn because all respect to the winner of the art contest for this album, Psy, but I definitely feel like my art fits this song more. And I know that Psy is probably
Most of the songs
watching
do.
this, but I'm sorry, but
No, don't be sorry.
Subtle
I mean,
flex.
I mean, no.
Not very subtle.
The art,
Oh, yeah, true.
the official art definitely grew on me a lot. I really like it now because
Yeah.
it reminds me of Crank That. I love Tell Me, and I also love Darker.
I'm about to go.
Yeah.
We're getting off topic here.
Yeah, we are getting off topic. So I Should Grow Up, Luminism, really good song, and I recommend it.
Yeah, I love the song as well. I think Kaitlyn sort of summed up most of my thoughts, but it's like incredibly infectious, more so than any other song on the comp. Like, it's the only one that has been stuck in the back of my mind. Like the melody's been stuck in the back of my mind pretty much since the listening party.
I like the beat of this song. It's different for Luminism. That's all I have
It
to
is,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's usually a bit of a disconnect between you guys and me when it comes to Luminism. Not just in regards to the all-nighter, and I think that just comes from, different tastes in music. I always
Yeah.
respect their music a lot. It's obviously very different for these types of compilations. This is the only song on the compilation that sounds like this, and it's unique. But this one I like more so than the usual Luminism fare. I think it's more upbeat and fun, and yeah, I don't know, something about this one. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I like this one like just as much as you guys. I think it just barely didn't make my list. I think it was number 11, but yeah, just fun all around. Aaron, I'm curious to hear what you think of this.
Well, honestly, my thoughts are pretty similar to yours until you said it was almost on your list. Okay.
You had me up until I had it on my list almost.
You had me in the first half. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, like I'm kind of like I'm like an EDM scum lord. Like I don't know. I don't have much experience listening to this kind of music, and I think it's just not for me. You know, I don't have any like insults for the song because I think it's a fine song, but yeah, just not. It doesn't align with my tastes.
Yeah,
It's a little rude.
I am in the same. I'm like in a mixed boat of, as like this song is really cool because it is definitely a different sound on the album, as was the song that they did for Volume 4. Correct? Is that the other song they did for All Nighter?
Yeah.
Yes, and that song too was really, really different for the comp and really nice, and the guitar work is just fantastic. But again, it's not really a song that is in the style that I typically enjoy. But all respect to Luminism, still a great song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm about to make all of your top 10 lists go into top 9 because I'm sure that like almost everybody here has this song on it. Next is Rush Flavor by Youkai.
Oh yes.
I don't have that song on my list. You are
Are you
incorrect.
are you serious?
I am dead serious.
All right, what
know,
you think, Caitlin?
When I first heard this song on the listening party, I was absolutely floored. I was like, wow, this is like amazing. And then the trap drop hit.
All right,
Only
this is gonna be a
shattered.
point of contention. We'll get into this later.
Definitely.
I was kind of like double floored for a second, and then I was like, wait a minute, this actually kind of hits. And then like the faster third drop hit, and I was like, this is fantastic. This is easily going in my like top 5. And would you look at that? It's my top
There it is.
5. Rush Flavor, Youkai Sound Team. I really like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Youkai Sound Team. I mean, I also like, as soon as this song started, I knew I would love it. I mean, I'm like, I've always been a fan of like that J-core sound.
Yeah.
And this song pulls it off really well, and impressively so in 24 hours. This song does a lot. But yeah, I'm in complete agreement. The trap drop, I'll say this proudly, the trap drop slaps. It goes super hard.
I agree.
It goes
Oh,
dummy
yeah.
hard.
I completely agree with that.
I concur.
All right, well,
I
it
agree.
looks like there's not as much contention as I
Yeah,
originally
I thought half of us would disagree with that.
But yeah, it's really good. If I had to say one thing, like obviously, I mean the production, I feel like could use a little more polishing, but whatever. Like what could you even ask for?
24 hours.
Yeah, you can't even ask for anything better than this. And I also have to say like the part, it's not even really a drop, but like when that like the future bass sound design kicks in. I love that. I love that
Yes.
part. It's done so well, and that it's just very satisfying on the ears. I love all the
Yeah.
turns that this song takes. Yeah.
God, I got a
Yeah.
huge cock.
Continuing.
What? I heard, we all heard that.
Oh,
All right.
You all good?
We're back. We're back.
We're
Yeah.
back.
All right,
Good.
all
Very cool.
We're back.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not
Should
cutting
we
that
carry
out.
on?
Who's next to talk about
I
Rush
was-
for you?
I was going.
FLAVOUR. Okay.
But yeah, anyways, continuing where I left off, I agree. The song's like a wild ride, for better or for worse. It is a little bit disjointed, I feel, as songs of this ilk kind of tend to be, but like in general, it's really fun and it's more cohesive than usual. Like there's been songs in the past that try and whip through a whole bunch of genres, full flavor, stuff like that. But this feels way more cohesive than that, and every part of the song has something going for it. I do
Yeah.
agree that the production could use a little bit of polishing in some spots, but in others it's just like perfect. Like Aaron mentioned, that part with the synths where it comes in, and then there's that fun lead. I don't even know how to describe it, but it comes in and it's playing like a solo on top. That part's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Okay,
Alright.
so what this song kind of reminded me of like something off of a Megarex comp,
True.
sort of that like
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, sort of like that Japanese style like EDM. But coming back to about the production, I feel like the mixing could have been a little better. But I mean, like, what more could you ask for? I mean, the song was made in 24 hours and it slaps. And also, it's kind of
Yeah.
pog that bad narrator made it on a farm comp. So congrats to him or her or they.
Congrats to bad narrator.
Yeah.
Well said, Aaron.
Congratulations.
Bye.
All right. I'm going to say it's J-Core, which by default makes it one of the stronger tracks on the comp. No one's denying that. As someone personally who recently kind of got into Camellia and like JEDM as a whole, this song was just really cool. Like it hyped me up so much when I heard it for the first time. And that trap drop, it goes hard. It goes really hard. That's all I
glad-
got to say about that.
it all grew on us.
Yes.
Yes.
I love how
When-
we're all calling it J-Core, but I think they're all from Indonesia. Just had to point that out.
Okay, but okay. Good
Shout
try.
out
sorry,
to
Josh, go ahead.
Indonesia.
Yeah, I think
Shout
yeah,
out Indonesia.
when
Shout out
when we were in the listening party, I was like, oh my god, this is one of the best all-nighter songs. This is insane. And I kind of take that back because I don't think it's one of the best all-nighter songs, but I still really enjoy this song. I mean, it's really energetic, like Ruben said. I do think the production should be polished a bit, but otherwise, I think the first and third drops are pretty much perfect for like 24 hours. Like, I don't think it could get any better in 24 hours. Yeah, I do really like the, I don't know what it is, like midsection sort of thing. I think Ruben was hinting at it as well, but there was that lead that, I don't know, it's just
It's a
uh,
little-
so refined. It's so good.
We're on to number 4. We're
Alright.
going to remove
Yo.
another one from everybody's list. And
Webcage,
that's-
baby.
Experimental.
Oh, we're getting there soon.
Okay.
Healing
it's
by
Rain-
Euphoria.
Shut the fuck up. It's Rain God by
Healing.
Wolfmagic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, that's a given for like.
I don't
Yeah.
have that one on my list, but okay.
Shut up, Knowledge.
Shut
I
up.
love
Come on, knowledge.
Yeah, shut up, knowledge.
Okay.
Just kidding, Knowledge. We
We're
love
go-
you. I make
All
sweet
right.
love to you, Knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, back on track. Come on.
Okay, back on track.
Please edit
Right.
this out, Aaron.
Okay.
No.
No,
Do
no.
not edit it out.
Don't
Whatever you
edit
do.
this out.
Do not edit this out.
Okay. So, where to even begin? Rain God by Wolfmagic. Oh my god. This song is like literally front to back. There's not a dull moment on this track at all. This track is really good. I will mention that my favorite part of the song is like right there, right before the second drop, or like right at the start of the second drop, where the drop sound hits, but it's like super rapid fire.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's
Machine
so good.
gun.
And then it transitions into like rhythm like phone on, weird time signature. Oh, it's so good.
I agree with what you said. This song, not a dull moment on it. it's got enough of a hook to draw you in, and it's just unique enough. It's just varied enough to remain interesting throughout. I think that using choir leads in bass music can kind of be cheesy sometimes, but I love the way it's utilized here, where it's just super stuttery and it just adds that extra oomph. It adds that extra quality to the lead. Alongside, it's playing with some like really high pitched, like kind of like laser sounds or whatever. Whatever it is, it sounds really cool. And I know that sounds like I just put it down, but no, it's a really satisfying lead. Along with, I really like the drums, especially the kick. The whole song just really hits hard. It draws you in. And another thing, it's a small thing, but I think the build up for this song is pretty cool. Just the way it's just a little different in the way that it doesn't really have like a kick or anything.
It's like a quiet build up.
I will say that this song, when it came on during the listening party, was just insane because, you know, it came after Storm Shanty, which is a song that I don't think any of us are very fond of. Just the way it started playing, we were like, is this going to be good?
Number one.
The build-up was just so promising. We were like, oh my god, is there finally going to be like an insanely good song in this album? And we were all, you know, we were all not let down. This song is insane. I love the snare. I just love the snare. I love the pitch of it. I just love everything about that. And just the energy this song has. It's like a roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop going fast. You know, there's no dull moments to this song.
Yeah.
It's also not jarring like a lot of songs in the style can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
All right, my number 3 is the last song that you guys will respect me for, and that's Indigo by Not. This song is ridiculous. It's so good. Just the drop. There was a lot of songs that were like similar to this song on the comp, but this one easily did it the best.
This is what the former hero song should have been, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Our good friend Moni made the perfect analogy while we were listening to this song, and that she called it a worm song. And what she meant by that was it conjures up images of a dancing worm or like a wiggling worm on the ground. And as funny as that is, it's very true, I feel, in a good way.
It's perfect, yeah.
I never heard that until now. That is such a perfect comparison.
Yeah, this song is just like shamelessly fun and uplifting, and Nox has a lot of fun with like the different leads that they use, and it's very simplistic, but that's not a negative. It's like, you know, it's just out there. It's simple, it's fun, and it's happy, it's joyful, and as that, I think it was really good. I also think it had some really satisfying sound design, specifically that main lead in the drop. I love the way it kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. It kind of like falls into place, if that makes sense. But it's, very nice song. This one's also very high up on my list.
I mean, I only agree with what everybody else has said. I think it's an amazing song. It's the first song on the comp that I can confidently say I love. Yeah, I mean, it's a great song.
I feel like it's one of the songs while we listen to it in the premiere or like, oh, thank goodness it's finally a good song.
Yep. There's
The
comp was kind of like paced like that. Like every 5 songs we were like, okay, this is a good song finally. And then there's another 5 songs we didn't like.
Yeah. I do sort of regret that looking back though, because there are quite a few songs before this one that I do like now. However, I still stand by that this is the first song on the comp that I adore.
Yeah, you can't even, like, emotions are so heightened during the listening party. It's basically love or hate.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with that. It is.
Everyone in the chat is just saying I love you to each other.
It's in the chat. It's either like "yo" all capital letters or just spamming exclamation marks
or
spamming question marks.
Dot.
It's like this is terrible.
Just a neutral face.
Making fun of Slippy.
Okay.
That was not us. That was the former YouTube premiere chat.
Yeah, we love Slippy. We are Slippy fans.
Yes.
Yeah,
we are Slippy stans.
We're the biggest fans of Slippy Fatal featuring Mika Martin.
Yes.
Mika Martin. All right, what's your number 2?
Moving on.
Okay.
Webcage time?
Webcage.
Storm Shanty
Scooter
coming.
boy.
All right, Aaron. Ruben, y'all gonna love me for my number 2.
Pog.
And my number 2 is Six Finger Death Punch by Six Impala. Okay. Oh, I know that Kevin loves.
Shut up, Nutra. Shut up, Nutra. Shut up, Nutra. Shut up, Nutra.
Yeah, this I love this song, and unpopular opinion apparently, I genuinely think Nutra is like this is her song, honestly. On We Fucking Love You to Death, I was really kind of put off on like the new style, the new direction that Six Impala went, but listening back to that album, it's really good. Like, this is quality, and that carries over to this song. This song is just like stupidly aggressive, stupidly fun, and I can like literally like go ham on this song. I've already LJ'd to it like enough times already. It's so good. I like when Six Impala do house, because they did this a few times on Rubber. I forget the song, and I think it was like Chrome Type or something like that. It's just like some of the most energetic house I've like really ever heard. And plus like Nutra, like the vocals or like the sample, not the sample, but like the lyrics on top of like the drop, the I want to punch you in your throat, want to punch you. It's so like it just adds to the song. And I know that's relatively unpopular in this chat. But
Yeah, this song was.
I'm the biggest Six Impala fan here, and you'll never take that away from me.
The song was on my.
Damn right.
Actually, I'm about to go to sleep pretty soon, so
Oh,
Good night, Kevin.
the song is on my list. I will say that I do not like the vocals at all. They removed from the song. But like the instrumental is really good, and that was enough to put it on the list. I like the punchy sounds in the beginning where it's like, you know.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I'm talking about? That was just really creative.
Yeah.
I heard that, I was like, okay, that's I did not expect the song to be anywhere near decent, because Six Impala usually they make like one good song and then follow up that song with just not good music. But like Epsilon Love, that song was so good, and I was like, hey, they're dropping an album. Maybe the album will be as good and like in the same vein as that song. And boy, it was not. So when I saw that they had a song, I was like, okay, I don't think this is gonna be anything to look forward to. But then I heard it was house, and I was like, okay. And then like things started coming in. I was like, okay, this isn't terrible. And the drop is really fire. I'm not gonna lie. It's very bouncy. I enjoy that in music.
Yeah.
But yeah, the vocal sample I cannot get into. But it's like I can look past it. I just feel like weird.
Gavin, you and I are polar opposites, because
Really?
I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't care less about Six Impala's music, but I would let Nutra punch me in my teeth. That's all I have to say.
step on my balls.
From the perspective of someone who has heard very few Six Impala fans or not fans, songs, I've heard very few Six Impala songs, and the ones I've heard, I haven't really been a fan of. It's just kind of not my style of music. But that being said, I think this one's pretty good. It's very short, like it doesn't overstay its welcome. So even if you're not the biggest fan of it, it was over fast. And yeah, like you said, there's lots of fun, like just drums and samples. There's like a Smash Bros sample or something in the middle of the song. Like just stuff like that is kind of fun. And honestly, I disagree. I think the vocals, like, I don't know. It's kind of like I really like just I think they help the song hit harder.
Just say it.
They're just
You
kind of
are
very
like the biggest
yeah.
Nutra fan on planet Earth.
Like it's very repetitive. It's kind of like in the way that a lot of house and even more aggressive house is that they have that repetitive vocal sample. And usually I don't like it, but when it works, it can really add to a song in that it just has you headbanging in like a primal way. You don't even care what the lyrics are saying or how dumb they are. They just go hard.
All
The rhythm
the
goes hard.
cavemen
Yeah.
headbanged back in the day.
But
Oh
yeah,
my God.
pretty fun song. Not on my list, but yeah.
Alright.
Not on my list, and I'm in the same space as Gavin, where I love the instrumental, but the vocals just put me off so much. I don't like them, but I do like the instrumental, but the vocals put me off too much. That's all I gotta say.
We're on to the big number one.
Big number
Oh yeah,
one.
number one.
Big number one. Big number one. The moment you've all been patiently waiting for.
Yes.
My number one, unironically, and I genuinely actually really like this song. I unironically think it's fire. I think this is the best song on this.
Okay, say it. Say it.
It is
Go
Little
ahead.
Crush by
Yeah.
Webcage.
Let's go. Let's go.
So you guys probably all remember this song mainly because of the intro and outro. But you guys fail to realize that, you know, there's a song between those two. That song is literally so good. And you know what? I'm even going to say, I think the intro and outro are just as good too. It's so fun, so catchy, so abrasive, and just
Hell
like so random, where like it's like random but in a good way. It's like not annoying, it's fun. It's really it's a ride. It's a ride, and this is definitely like the biggest highlight on the comp.
Intro.
I appreciate it, and I more than appreciate it, and plus also I love the knapsack lyric about eating rectum. I thought that was pretty funny.
All right.
Really good song, and it's my number one. Kevin.
All right. This song is really good.
I'm surprised.
Dab me
it's
up.
really good. It's really good. I'm backing you up. And it has its ups and downs, that's for sure. I don't particularly like the intro or the outro. I could go without them. Although the outro kind of did give me false hope that we would get like cool euphoric drops or something, but that's okay. It's super catchy. It's just so good. And pretty much any song that Nabita's a part of is a hit for me. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair enough.
I am a big fan of this song. It will definitely be making my playlist.
It's already in my playlist.
We're probably the only two that think this of that song.
Actually, I don't think you are, because I really love this song as well.
Let's go, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Hey.
On the original listening party, I think I was a bit too harsh on it, particularly because of the intro and outro, exactly as Kaitlyn assumed. But there is a song in between, and I really, really like the song in between. I think the bass in particular is really bouncy. I love Knapsack's performance. I think it's one of the best on the entire compilation. Yeah, I mean, it's everything in between the intro and the outro is my type of music, sort of epitomized into one song. Yeah, I just really, really enjoy it. I don't think I can sort of put it into words how much I do enjoy it, but yeah, I really, really enjoy it.
Let's go. All right, now who's gonna shit on us?
Who's gonna bash this?
If I could be the centrist here,
Okay.
my qualms with this song aren't really with the song. It's with like the fact that All Nighter, like there's no denying it. All Nighter Volume 6 was a webcage takeover. The webcage song is here, and so is every, like, I think there are like 3 or 4 or 5 like other individual songs by webcage artists, and you know, these are mostly artists who have been on Form a lot before in previous comps.
Yeah, that's a good
And
point.
like there were a lot of good songs that got denied from this comp. I think it would have been nicer to give like some artists who have never been on a Form comp before a chance, as opposed to like all these artists who, I don't know, have been on like most of the Form comps before. But I think the song's all right. It's you know, I just wish I wish this compilation was not as much of a webcage takeover.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna say this song was stupid and not in a good way. That's all I have to say. That's my opinion on it.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah, and another thing, Aaron, touching on what Aaron said, there's a lot of hyperpop on this compilation, and that's not inherently a bad thing. Like, honestly, I used to be kind of like an old head. I used to be like, I used to be just like not open to it at all, but I've changed in that regard. But that being said, I don't think that really many of the hyperpop songs on the compilation are that memorable to me. They're kind of the more standard approach you hear in the genre. This one had some fun production, and it's very quick. It's moving along. The segments vary in quality depending on who's singing, I find.
hard agree.
Some of the vocal processing is a little more annoying to me than others, but still, it moves along fast enough. And yeah, I do kind of agree with what Aaron said, but at the end of the day, I think this one is not even bad, really. I think it's a fine song, but yeah. All right, Kevin, you want to go?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right, so I didn't really put it in order of 10 to 1. My 1 is definitive, so we'll get to that. But 2 through 10 are just kind of my personal highlights from the album in no particular order. Starting with, it'll be in order of the track list. Starting with Lizdek and Joss Lockwood with You and Me.
Yes.
And this song,
Oh man.
it is crazy how this was made in 24 hours, because it feels like a fully fleshed out, like super cleanly mixed, like actual song. And just the way the vocals play with the instrumental, it's just so good.
I will say this is my favorite song on the comp. It's just God, the vocals are godly. I listened to the other Lizdek and Joss Lockwood songs, and they are just not even near as good as this shit. Like, I would just listen to this song, and I will just be floating through space. Like, dude, this song just gives me the most amazing headspace I've ever had in my life. Like,
Yeah,
when
it's
I
really,
listen to it.
really good.
That's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get the point. It's exaggerated for reason. I don't know.
Hyperbolic effect.
Yeah, that's the word.
Okay, yeah, I will say that I've liked some of Lizdek's music in the past, but I just don't think it's for me. Like, his style of music I find very, I don't want to say boring, but I mean, it's just not the type of music that I enjoy. I think it's quite slow, and that's not something like that I'm too into. I do appreciate that the production is very good, especially given it was made in 24 hours. It's just relatively slow, and that's not something I enjoy in music. So unfortunately, I'm not a fan of this one.
Yeah, I agree. My thoughts on Lizdek have changed a lot over the past couple of years. I loved his melodic music. Now I think he's definitely adopted this like really slow kind of garage like sound design, and it's good. I mean, I think that this is a very well made song. It's just not for me. The vocals, I must say, the vocals are very good by Joss
Yeah,
Lockwood.
vocals are good.
But it's just like conceptually, it just doesn't do it for me.
Ready for next?
Ready?
Yep.
Next is Webcage Little Crush, which we already talked about.
Yep.
So that next, theoretical number 9. Next we have Foxwood, Imagiro, Mizu, DossyX, and Wintercolor with The Choir Before the Storm.
Yeah, baby.
This is really, really good. A journey, if you will. In the chorus sections of it, there's this little melodic swoop that is just so good, and then that climax, it's exactly what I wanted to hear in this type of song, and it really pays off for being patient. It's just really good. Big fan of this.
Yeah, me too. This one's also on my list. I really love songs like this. That really builds up an atmosphere. There are a lot of moments in this song where all the frequencies just resonate, and I get chills. And that the drop at the end, the kind of like I would call it something like what a cloudy sky would make in like 2018 or 2019.
Very reminiscent of that.
I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of Sky, so I like that drop at the end. It's not really like, in my opinion, the beginning of the everything in the song preceding that drop, it doesn't really justify all of that build up. Like, it's not really a good payoff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's a good drop, and I like this song a lot. It's on my list too. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah, very, very pleasant and very blissful at times.
Yeah, I think serene's the right word to use. It's very content on just basking in its atmosphere and just being more subtle than, some songs of this ilk can tend to be. Sometimes they can, rush their way to the big euphoric payoff or whatever. But this song takes it a lot of time to just build a cool atmosphere, and it's very cohesive for a song that's been through like 5 different people. Which is not something I can say often about some of these mega collabs. So in that aspect, I think it's very beautiful and pleasant. Didn't make my list,
Yeah.
but I do like it a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would have to say like, so the first like 3/4 of the song really didn't do a lot for me. I'm not really that big into atmospherical music.
Yeah,
But
same.
the drop at the end, contrary to what Aaron said, I do feel like that really made the song for me. It didn't make my list, unfortunately, but because of that last drop, it's definitely like higher up. So it's a fine song, just not really in the realm of my taste.
Next, we have Lightbenders with Crystal Grotto. Now, this is the
Oh.
definition of a journey. 8 minutes of just epic, like it keeps you involved the whole time. Okay.
On contrary to what Kevin said, or actually, let me start off by saying that yes, it is really impressive. However, contrary to what Kevin said, it did not keep me engaged for the whole 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Honestly, it kind of like started dragging off after like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because like
Unfortunately.
after a point, like it just like wouldn't end. Like the
Yeah.
outro just kept going on, and I think Icere made like the funniest remark. Like right before the song ended, there was like a nice piano solo or whatever. And like as soon as we thought that it was gonna be over, the piano came back in, and Icere was like, "Oh, more piano, just what I wanted." And I just kind of burst out laughing after that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
really respect Lightbenders for conjuring this up. Is it my favorite? Not really, because it's really not my type of music. If you couldn't tell from my top 10.
Yeah.
But I would have to give it to like, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is a shame. I do agree
Mhm.
with you. I feel like it really just kind of lost me after about the halfway point.
Fair.
And it
Yeah.
really is a shame. I think honestly, as someone who likes longer music, as someone who likes music that's more subtle and takes time to soak in
Mhm.
atmosphere, I think this one was just a little too it was just a little too long and a little too unengaging. There wasn't really that much there to
Yeah.
justify the length, in my opinion, and I wish the song was just a bit shorter and they just worked on making it more engaging throughout. But it is still very impressive, and it's not a bad song
I
by any means.
agree.
I actually do like
Yeah.
it a lot.
Okay, so this song actually did end up making it on my list. You know, it's tough because I really hate it when songs like are long for the sake of being long. But you know, when you have eight or yeah, I believe it's okay. No, I think it's 7 people who work on a single song, like who collab on it within 24 hours. There's not really much you could do except like split up sections of a song like that different people will work on. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's obviously a collab like that is really hard to manage. But basically, what I ended up deciding, and the reason why I ended up putting it on the list, is that each section in this song individually is very good, and I enjoy, I guess, kind of exploring this song and everything that was done. I don't necessarily enjoy listening to the whole 8 minutes contiguously because that it's kind of a slog. I will admit, and also, the final drop is definitely not like, again, similarly to the choir before the storm, the final drop is not really like a worthy payout, especially because this song is also like, you know, there's 6 minutes preceding it. The payoff doesn't really, it's not really justified. But every song or every section here is very good to listen to on its own. I think obviously again very very impressive given the time allotted.
It's like an anthology, but in music form.
Cool.
What's next, Kevin?
Next is Yokai Sound Team Rush Flavor, which we've already talked about.
Yes.
And then after that is AT4G with If It's the Last Thing I Do.
Oh baby.
Yeah, good
It's only a
pick.
matter of time before the song came up. Time is of the essence. So
That's not the name of the song.
what I have to say, vibey garage, always a win.
It is.
Mixed with a really cool vocal sample, and then that house section at the end.
House
It's just
music.
a perfect recipe for
Yeah.
success. Yeah, the little house music sample that was really, I really liked that a lot. It's a little playful, but still the song stayed serious, and I just recipe for success. I'm
Yeah.
impressed by this.
I really, really enjoy the song. This is my number one on my list, and like the best AT4G songs, it kind of toes the line between like playful and melancholic. And in this song specifically, the ending section really highlights that, where you have this kind of serene four on the floor part where it's playing these very atmospheric sounds, and it's a nice section. And then yeah, that house music sample comes in, and I love that. And then it switches up completely and just becomes really bouncy and fun, and the kind of house that they've been, that they're known for. And I think this is them at their best, honestly. Like, this is easily my favorite song on the compilation. I've listened to it like 10 times already. And yeah, I
Rookie
just
numbers,
love
buddy.
all the different subtle details in the background, the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
Really, really great sound design and melodies and
Mhm.
songwriting all around. And lots of fun vocal sampling, as has been mentioned.
Facts.
Okay. Yeah, this song is like really good. But the thing that really, really made this song for me would definitely have to be the house part of the song, of course. It's just so like really like uplifting. And I don't know who mentioned that before, but I really find the song like really just like a euphoric wave, I would say.
Hmm.
Because like it does atmosphere in a way that I can easily digest it, unlike Calm Before the Storm or whatever.
Calm Before the Storm, the esteemed All Nighter Volume 3
Calm
song
Before the Storm
by
is Can of Bliss.
Oh,
Can of
I
Bliss.
mean, the Choir
Yeah.
Before the Storm or whatever. The sequel.
The storm and or the
Choir Before the Storm.
the thunder and
Storm
The
Before the
flash binging, the hash
hash
tinging,
bringing.
the rash tinging.
The Flash
Alright.
Flood.
I'm gonna ground our conversation here.
Yes.
This song is so good. This song is brilliant. I think this is AT4G or ATAG. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's them at their best, as Ruben said. The production is incredible. It's bouncy. It's fun. I really enjoy listening to it. The vocal sample, I think, adds so much. It's really like you really wouldn't expect it to be so catchy. It feels a little awkward. Like, definitely
Yeah.
the first time I listened to it, it was a little awkward, just in the way that it was chopped and structured. But that just gives all the more character to the intro and to like the rest of the song that uses vocal sampling. I mean, the beat is just really catchy.
Yeah.
It's infectious. I've just found myself coming to this song. I don't know the most, but like I've been coming back to this song a lot throughout the past couple of days.
Like everybody else, I really like this song. I think it's playful, it's inventive, particularly the vocal sample. It just gets stuck in my head. Yeah, I can't help but move to it. It's a really good song. I like it. I like this style of music a lot, so I expected to like it a lot too.
Yeah, this song's on my list. I love just the chill part at the beginning where it's just like, it's a typical garage song. The sampling's really nice. Overall, the atmosphere is really nice. And then the second half, it becomes more upbeat. I dig songs like that kind of just progress into, these more upbeat things. The house music sample is funny, and it fits perfectly because, it goes right to house music. It becomes all like funky and choppy at that point. That part's really nice. Overall, it's just a very solid song, and one of the few songs that I actually really enjoy on this album.
All right.
Oh yes.
Next song on my list is DlTZK, kmoe, and Juno with Back Off. This might be a surprise to all of you,
Yes.
but this just
So surprising.
smacks. It smacks, dude.
It does go hard.
Just the kind of the 8-bit themey, like the bit crush sounds in the drop.
Yes.
It just goes so hard. It's really hard for me not to just have this stupid grin on my face when I'm listening to this. And I mean, the vocals kind of bring it down a little bit for me, but the drop is just so cool to me and so good.
The highlight of this song is that they sampled an iconic sound from literally one of my favorite video games of all time.
That's what I was trying to figure out what it was from, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it was the save point sound that plays in Undertale.
That's okay. That's what it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I
No
was trying
spoilers.
to tell you that, but I was actually muted. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So when I first heard this on the listening party, I was like, I hate this. I hate this so much. But I listened to it again, and again and again and again, to the point where I actually had it on my top 10, but narrowing it down, it kind of fell out of that. Still a really good song. It literally like goes hard. It goes stupid. It goes crazy. Goes positively brain dead.
Is this a song that's just noise in the drop?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
pretty
didn't
much.
like this one at all. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I couldn't figure out what this song this was, but now I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
kind of an oddball on my list, but
I really like it because it's very maximalistic and kind of reminds me of like Marquez in a weird way. That makes sense.
Marcios?
It's very fulfilling for what it's worth.
Marquez.
I mean, this song, it's a form song.
Posthumously.
I mean, it's one of those songs that's on every forum comp that's basically just like all out. It's like all out goofy, just kind of noise for the sake of it. So you love it or you don't, or you like it or you mildly dislike it. I guess those are options. You
have an opinion on it.
I've never been a fan of these songs on the forum comps that are just like,
I'm on the love it team.
Who are just goofy, like the songs that are just goofy for the sake of it. I mean, how seriously can you really take yourself when you're making a song in 24 hours? But still,
yeah,
musically, it's just, it. All you have to do is listen to it, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would kind of agree. Not to be overly negative, but it wasn't really my thing, And like you said, this is kind of a shoe-in on a list like this, or on these compilations. But holy shit, sorry, my cat just like ran at my chest, like just charged me. Anyways, yeah, not to be overly negative, but yeah, I wasn't too big on this one. This is kind of standard fare and not the kind that I'm particularly fond of.
Yeah.
I understand why people like this music, but it's just sort of the antithesis of my taste, so I was bound to not enjoy it, unfortunately.
Yeah, what's funny is that like I'm in the same boat as Aaron, where I haven't really enjoyed the all out form songs on the all nighter comps, but this is different. I think it was just that Undertale sample that just kind of drew me in.
Yeah,
like, this is so sick.
It goes hard for sure.
Yeah. All right, we ready for next?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next we have Aishii, Aspect, Musature, and Sad Keyboard Guy with Epoch.
And Viznode. Don't forget.
Yeah, you can't forget
How did I
Viznode
miss
on this
that?
one.
I thought I copied every. I
Cannot forget Viznode.
And Viznode, Epoch. All right. This is another extremely involved journey that just does such an amazing job of enticing the listener to really pay attention to what's going on. This is just so cool. The dichotomy between the sections and the drops is just so astounding, and somehow it works, which is just crazy. But I really enjoy this a lot.
All right, I have some words about this song. This is my personal favorite on the album. I think this is really, I mean, it's really incredible that it was made in 24 hours. And I'm like, I've been a fan of most of the artists who are on this list, or who are like involved in this song for quite a while, and they all really shine through. And I think that they all they put their best feet forward on this track. All of the atmospheric elements are great. The art core first drop is so good, and then like there's this sort of midsection, but it's also kind of a climax where like there's all this mechanical like Viznode sounding, or Aspect 2, I guess, sounding sound design, which I love. I mean that stuff, like all I can really do is just sit back and just bask in it while there are chills like running through my body. And finally, like that final drop, I've been saying in this video that like a lot of these songs, the payoffs are not really they don't, the songs don't really earn their final moments, but that final drop, I mean, it just goes so hard. I believe Aishii is to be credited for that, and she really like went bonkers on that final drop. There's so much variation in the structure, and it's just so engaging and so fun, and it goes stupid hard. There are so many good things about this song. I just love it, and again, made in 24 hours. Goodness gracious. I mean, just insane. Like from all of the artists involved. It's really just the culmination of a bunch of amazing artists. Yeah.
Yeah, this song's just a raw showcase of musical talent. And all the little details. It is really incredible, more so than most songs that it was made in 24 hours. Like it's just fully realized and fleshed out, and yeah, just you get as many like musical geniuses involved as you do have on this compilation, and the song's bound to be great.
Yeah, definitely. I'm the same as Aaron in that this is my favorite song on the album. I think both Aspect and Viznode are two of the most forward-thinking artists in electronic music right now, and I haven't listened to many of the other artists, but I'm definitely going to be listening to them after this. And yeah, I mean, it's a great song. How on earth this was made in 24 hours, I have no idea. Both conceptually and in terms of the production, it's just so refined. It's so, I don't know. There's just so many layers to it. There's so much happening, yet it all feels just cohesive. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite songs of the year. I honestly don't think All Nighter is going to release a song like this in a few comps, because this is just otherworldly. I adore this song so much. It's incredible.
Knowledge, stop fucking leaving.
It's not his fault. Come on.
All right, Knowledge, what do you want to say?
Oh, that was gold.
Thanks for joining us again, Knowledge.
Yeah, no worries. My farm Wi-Fi is kind of bad right now.
That's alright. Don't worry about it.
Anyways, I have some things to say about Epoch.
Go for it, brother.
Okay, what you got?
Okay, so this song was actually my top 3 on my list. Rightfully so, because this song, like Kevin said, it is the journey. It's really good, and there's a payoff at the end. That payoff's really good. It's well worth the 6 minutes that you listen to it.
No.
And I kind of feel like it's a better version of Grotto.
Ruben, you good?
It's so funny.
Actually, what happened?
It's just Ruben.
Ruben went robotic.
You just went,
Oh, I was the one going robotic, dude. I was laughing because I thought Knowledge was going robotic.
No, it was you.
No, you were going robotic.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Paark with Dionysian featuring Snow Chant, and this song. I mean, it's Paark progressive house. I mean, this.
Okay.
The way Paark does world building and atmosphere is just pretty much unrivaled for me. It's good and just insane how they pull it off so often, and just made in 24 hours again. So impressive, and I'm just really digging the vibes for this one, and the progression is just so good.
All right, I'll just go real quick because I really only have one thing to say about it. It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kaitlyn.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I love Paark a lot. I mean, he's always been one of my favorite musicians, and I mean, obviously he's been changing his style a lot, but you know, it's a pretty welcome change in my opinion. This song reminds me a lot of John Hopkins, like that micro house sound, and you know,
Yeah.
I dig it. I think it's really pleasant to listen to. The drums being super like delicate and light, it really tickles my ears in the best way possible. Obviously, it's different for Paark, but I personally welcome the change.
Yeah, it's much more subtle and understated than you would typically expect from Paark. And I don't mean that as an insult at all. Like, I love Paark's music, but this is definitely, like you said, a very different style from him. He's been going kind of leaning more into the lighter melodic side of his style more recently, but this is, like you said, if his new music is going to sound like this, then I'm here for it. Song is just, yeah, beautiful. Very simple and catchy and insanely well produced as to be expected from him.
I mean, it's exactly what I expected from Paark. It's a good song. It's in my top 10. I'm kind of throwing Ouchdog under the bus here, but I was in VC with him earlier, and he called it nothing music. And I gotta completely disagree with that statement. It is not nothing music,
haywire
Ouchdog.
anomaly.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, I think it's not nothing music. It's really gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so pleasant on the ears. It's really impressive in terms of production. I think it's one of the best songs on the album. I really enjoy it.
Ouchdog's just stuck in his ways from his seething hatred of Upscale and Inspected, and any artist
Yeah.
that's remotely among the likes.
Yep.
He definitely is.
I'm actually gonna
I
vouch for Tyler here.
Oh, no.
I kind of agree with him.
We talked about Tyler so much on this call.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad because he's not here to defend himself.
Hate that guy.
Yeah, don't like him.
John's not here.
All right. Anyone else got words about Dionysian, or can I go to my
I
top?
love Ouchdog.
Take it away, Kevin.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
You have something to say about Dionysian knowledge, or you're good?
I think he's good.
I think his
Okay.
farm Wi-Fi is having problems.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyone that knows anything about me can see this coming from a mile away. My number one, we got Kazuki, Paper Skies, Jetto, and Sharks.
oh yes.
Moonlight featuring
Whoa.
Slyly. And I'm sure
Whoa.
nobody
I
saw that
never
coming.
would have
coming.
guessed.
But okay, this is what I had to say about this. If you saw all these names when Paper Skies said that they were working on this track in the Form General or whatever, and you saw those names and you didn't get hyped, there's just something wrong with you. Before listening, I knew this was going to be like an easy contender for top spot on this compilation. And after
Yeah.
listening, there was just no other competition for what my top spot was going to be. I mean,
You know, yeah.
so I'm gonna run down the roster real quick. We have Jetto, a melodic dubstep mastermind. We have Kazuki, an ambient mastermind. We have Paper Skies, who has been consistently one of my favorite like melodic bass artists over the years. And we have Sharks, who is probably the most
Yes.
talented up and coming bass musician. And then Slyleaf, who is just killing the vocals always. And that's all I gotta say about it. Like, it's just so good, and like just all the little technical touches, just perfect song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Facts, brother.
I would have to kind of agree with your descriptions of the crew that worked on this song.
Mhm.
I don't think I liked it as much as Kevin did, but
Yeah,
I
you
do have to
definitely
give
didn't.
credit where credit. I have to give credit where credit is due. It is definitely well made. Production could have been a little better, pertaining specifically to Slyleaf's vocals, and I think Aishii made a funny remark about how Tyler was so excited for Slyleaf, and well, Slyleaf's vocals weren't really
Yeah, she was
present
fucking
that
under
much.
the ocean.
Yeah. So Aishii was like, poor Ouchdog thought he would actually hear it Slyleaf.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
to say that this song is solid.
This one,
Mhm.
I really like this one. And I appreciate that they didn't just go the more standard, like, saw stack route. Like, they easily could have done that and kind of phoned it in, and it would be a good song still. But I like that they went in a different direction. The first drop, to me at
Yeah.
least, is very reminiscent of the Bloom and Jetto remix of Virgins by AU5, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. So that's, like, really high praise for me. I love that just, like, shifting sort of guitar sound that's rapidly playing over really good drums, and then it moves into the second drop where you bring out the really satisfying Sharks
Yes.
melodic stuff.
Oh my god.
His sound design, those
The
are
Sharks drop is so good.
distinctly
Those
his,
shots. Oh, it's so.
and they're
Yeah.
so good. They're so satisfying, and the saw stacks are hitting, and of course, Slyleaf gives great vocals. Although that is the thing that holds this song back for me, is that the vocals are very, very quiet, and unfortunately, it hasn't really been talked about before. But I feel like that's kind of a running theme with this compilation. Is there's lots of songs where the vocals are very hard to hear or they're very quiet, and I think that's
Absolutely, yeah.
just that just comes with making a song in such a short time frame. It doesn't ruin the
Yeah.
song at all. Her vocal performance is still very good, but definitely holds it back a little. But everything else that is there is awesome. It's very lush and detailed, and yeah, just a great song overall.
basically, I have to echo everything that Ruben said, and especially I want to iterate again his comparison to the Blue Mangetto remixes, both of them.
Yeah.
I think like again, well, I agree with Ruben that those two remixes are some of my favorite songs ever made, and the fact that Jetto made like a comparable drop in 24 hours is bonkers.
For real.
They're just so good, so complex. It's such like a refreshing take on melodic dubstep, whatever you want to call it. I mean, just like it's like nothing else that's ever been made before. And for that, it's incredible. Then you get to the second drop, Sharks, obviously king of color bass in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a killer drop.
The sound design is immaculate. Just such a good song. Oh yeah.
The only thing I have to say about it is it was kind of underwhelming to me. Like I thought it would hit harder, but it kind of.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kevin, but I kind of agree with Gavin here. Yeah, I really like the Sharks drop, but otherwise, I think the song is quite underwhelming. It was the track, maybe other than the Mr. Bill mega collab, Wet Elvin or whatever it's called. This was the track I was most excited for on the entire album, and I think it is quite underwhelming. But that Sharks drop does go. That's such a good drop.
Hmm.
I have like 2 songs that haven't been talked about on my list.
I have 5 songs that haven't
Okay.
been talked about.
If you think you have a fair amount of
I'm just gonna
songs,
do it
go for
really
yeah.
quickly. My number 10 is "I Should Grow Up" by Luminism. We talked about that. I think it's something fresh for Luminism. I like the beat. Number 9, Six Impala, Six Finger Death Punch. I don't like the vocals, but the rest slaps. Number 8, Indigo by Nox. The worm analogy, pretty perfect. Very fun and upbeat. My number 7 has not been talked about yet. Pixondal and Snowstorm Overflow.
Oh, okay.
I love machine gun basses in dubstep songs, and while the mixing on this song is a little bit not good, it kind of does melt my face at times, and I really appreciate a song that can do that well, as this song does. And it just packs a lot of energy. It does end kind of abruptly, which is weird, but I don't really mind that too much.
Yeah, I have to
facts.
agree. The song is like insanely hard hitting. Forgive me, I'm in my room with my brother. Other than that, like I can't really say that much about it. Other than like, yeah, it's a dinger. It's a dinger for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, this is basically what I expected from Pixondal. Just something all out, something fun. It's really creative. The sound design is unconventional. Snowstorm, I'm gonna have to check out because I didn't know of them before, but it's just really fun. It goes really hard. As Gavin said, it's a face melter. Yeah, this one's also relatively high on my list. So
Is Snowstorm not a more Kismet alias? I thought that's who they were.
I don't believe so.
maybe I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so actually.
That doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, this does not
Oh,
sound like
I
a
don't know.
more Kismet song at all.
I mean, that is honestly a compliment. That I thought more Kismet had their hands on this song because their bass design is always very gritty and in your face. And yeah, I agree with a lot of what's been said. It's not quite my cup of tea, but it is really good for what it's worth. It's produced incredibly well. It's very complex for 24 hours. Yeah.
My number 6 is "Jellyfish Murder Spree" by Grape, Milk, and JUKO. I love how energetic the song becomes. It's just very fun overall. My number 5, it's "If It's the Last Thing I Do" by AT4G. Once again, really chill song that becomes energetic. That's a formula that never fails to impress me. Number 4, "The Choir Before the Storm." I believe the drop does really pay off from all the atmosphere in the beginning. The song is catchy, it just resonates with me well. My number 3 is "Rain God" by wolfmagic. I love the rising sound. I love the sound design. I love how just hype it was to hear in the premiere. That adds a lot of points to it because it just destroyed my mind when I first heard it. My number 2 is the second of 2 songs that haven't been talked about so far, which I'm surprised. My number 2 is "Rewind" by Hikari. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Oh, that one.
So what really caught me about this song was just how atmospheric it was in the beginning. And then listening back, I realized, hey, this song is not in 4/4, which is something that I usually really love in EDM. I think it's I don't know what it is. It's like 11-4 or 21-4, something like that. If that's even a
I think
thing.
it's 21-4.
Yeah, 21.
I think it is
for
21.
sure.
I love that. I love just when the kick comes in. I'm just like, oh my god, yeah, this is great. It sounds like a march, like an electronic marching song, which is not something I can say I've heard a whole lot of. And then when the snare comes in, it's cool. Then the hi hats come in. The song just builds really nicely. I love songs that build like that. Build on top of the atmosphere that the song's already established in the beginning. It's a pretty basic song and it's really quick, but I just enjoy every second of it.
I don't remember that much about this song, so I would have to re-listen to it again because I did not know that it wasn't in 4/4. So maybe
same.
with that knowledge, I'll like high knowledge. Maybe
Very
with that
subtle.
knowledge, I'll probably like it more because I really like non-conventional time signatures. I think that's like really creative and really fun, and if done well, it can hit really hard. So I definitely have to re-listen to it.
The time signature is very subtle in this song. I didn't realize it till like the second or third listen.
That's actually, I kind of disagree with you guys a little about time signatures. Normally, I think when songs do unconventional time signatures, it can be a little gimmick, can be a little showy, kind of look like self-indulgent. But this song was incredibly subtle to the point. Well, to the point where this song was subtle to the point where like I didn't even realize it wasn't in 4/4 till Gavin mentioned it, and it's very it's simple, but it's kind of entrancing, like it's kind of hypnotic. You just get pulled into it, and then very good for what it is. Not on my list, but still a good song.
All right, well, I have something to say. I mean, I love this song. To me, it's a relatively simple concept. Obviously, the 21/4 is not conventional, but like. The composition of the song, it's a relatively simple concept, but it's perfectly executed. I mean, the production is immaculate. It's pristine. And for an atmospheric song, that's really important. I just love all of the subtle things about this song. It's my second favorite song on the album. I just keep coming back. It's really addicting, the atmosphere. And the beat, I mean, it just keeps you completely locked in. I agree with what you said, Ruben. It's entrancing. It's very hypnotic. And the moment at the very end where like this really subtle guitar starts to come in and then the song ends, like I think that's, usually I don't like when songs end, but I think that's a perfect ending to a song.
Very good song. All right, so that brings me to my number one, which unfortunately has been talked about, but it is You and Me by Lizdek and Joss Lockwood. Like I said, the song just puts me in this extraordinary headspace. It's perfectly chill. It's entrancing. Everything about it is just music to my ears. And yeah, that's my list.
All right, low key. So my entire list has been talked about. So could I just go through it real quickly? I kind of just want to.
Mine has as well.
All right. So
I have two songs.
I'm just gonna go.
I have 4 songs that haven't been talked about.
I just want to get mine out of the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's do Aaron, Josh, then.
Yeah. All right. So my number 10 was BH. So Much to Tell. Again, that final drop just super blissful. Number 9. Lightbenders, Crystal Grotto, bunch of really good solitary parts.
Let's go, Aaron.
Thanks, Knowledge.
He's hype. He's
hyping me up.
Hype man.
He's a hype man.
Logging up Aaron's list.
I appreciate this. All right, my number 8 is Youkai Sound Team with Rush Flavor. This is the genesis of IEDM, Indonesian EDM.
Amazing song.
Indeed. Number 7 was Foxwood et al. The Choir Before the Storm. Good everything, good instrumentation, good job at the end. Number 6, Paark Dionysian. Featuring Snow Chant.
Very good.
Number 5 is Pixondal and Snowstorm Overflow. Number 4, Kazuki Paper Skies, etc. Moonlight.
Good pick.
Thank you, Knowledge. Number 3, AT4G, If It's the Last Thing I Do. Love this song. Okay. This top 3 is some of my favorite songs to ever be released on Form compilations. But yeah, A-Tag at 3. Number 2, Hikari Rewind. And number 1, Aishii, Aspect, Musature, Sad Keyword Guy, and Viznode, Epoch. Thank you.
Yes, Epoch.
Yes, dude. Oh my god.
Yes.
Let's go. Awesome.
Love Epoch.
Okay, should I go through mine then?
Yeah, go through yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so at number 10 I had Foxwood Imagiro, Mizu, DossyX, and Wintercolor, The Choir Before the Storm. I think the atmosphere
Okay.
is really nice. I do think the drop at the end is well paid off. I just really enjoy this song. Number 9 is Nacreous by 360. It's just my type of music. It's really well produced. It's a good change for the compilation. There's nothing like it on the comp. Number 8 is Rush Flavor by Youkai Sound Team. It's really energetic. It brought me back to life because I was really tired when this came
Very
on,
good
and it
pick.
just sort of revitalized my interest in the comp. And then I have A-Tag, If It's the Last Thing I Do. I think everybody has sort of said my thoughts. It's just really creative. It's really interesting. It's really inventive. Then I have LITTLECRUSH by Webcage. I love that song. It's just my type of music again. Then I have Rain God by wolfmagic. I really like the percussion here. It's creative. I keep repeating myself in all of these songs, but I generally, all the songs in my top 10 are really creative, and that's the main reason why I like them so much. And then I have the Paark song in fourth. I don't know how to say that. Dionysian, I think. I really like the atmosphere. It's really well layered. Then I have Luminism's I Should Grow Up. I love that type of music. Then I have Indigo by Nox in second, and then in first I have Epoch. That's one of the best songs of the year. I love it so
Epoch.
much. Yeah, Epoch.
Yes, Epoch. I will say real
Yeah.
quick, the Paark song. I wish it had like a Get Her Heartless drop at the end because kind of at the beginning I had the same formula as Get Her Heartless, like with just the house beat. I wish it did that or something like in that vein, but it didn't. So
All right,
Kevin.
I got 2 songs on my list that haven't been talked about.
Of which is Wet
So-
Alvin.
Go for it.
One of them
brother.
is Wet Album, but I'll get to that. So
One of the best songs on here.
number 10, we have the Paark song. It's very serene, beautiful. Number 9, we got Epoch. It's a journey. Number 8, we got 360. Very bouncy and fun. And then number 7, I have the Disdain and Fowler, Marsix, and Miss Lena collab.
Yes, finally somebody has that song.
And this song is a bit of an interesting one in that I believe the artists involved wanted to pull out or something because they wanted to polish the track more, but it ended up just getting accepted and put out anyways. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what happened with it.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
yeah.
you can't blame him for wanting to do a little more work on this.
Yeah. This is going to be a point of contention for people because, obviously the production is a little muddled and it needs cleaning
Yeah.
up, but
The vocals are kind of bad.
honestly, I
No,
disagree.
I wouldn't say that. They're one of Miss Lena's better vocal.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
I
kind
think
of
that's the
drowned
best
out
part
by
of the song, to
the
be honest.
instrumental though.
But honestly, the reason this song made my list is because I really find the sound design to be incredibly satisfying. And it's kind of hard to articulate why, but I just love the way the basses and synths and all these different sounds kind of swell and move about. They're all pretty textured, whether they're more liquidy or they're harder, grittier, or the super saws are nice and noisy and stuff. And even if the production in terms of mixing is a little lacking, it more than makes up for it in interesting and dynamic sound design. That just makes a song really fun to listen to. I like the simple vocals. Unfortunately, this song suffers from Moonlight syndrome, where you literally just can't hear the vocals at all. Again, comes with making a song in 24 hours, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that this song is heavily held back by the production. I think the ideas are really good, and I really like every producer involved. If they were to make a remaster, I think it would be incredible. But 24 hours. What can you do?
Yeah. Even if they don't, I like the song enough to justify putting it on my list. So
That's completely valid. Yeah.
For sure, and I understand that. Yeah, I really like this song. It's actually my top 3.
Yeah, I
Alright.
will say, me being a big fan of Exobolt music, which this is the Exobolt collab. I'm a fan of this. Like Aaron said, all the ideas are definitely there for that kind of song, but unfortunately the production kind of held.
I guess I'll add on. I feel like the song was really good. The only drawback of it, I think, is that Miss Lena's vocals kind of seem drowned out, like a
Yeah,
bit in some
very.
places. Yeah,
It's unfortunate, but I still like the song.
yeah. Nonetheless, it's a great song.
Yeah. All right, number 6, I got Rush Flavor. You know, very energetic and fun. And then number 5, we have uh the Mr. Bill mega collab, Wet Alvin.
Well,
And
Elvin.
this song. So let me start this off by saying I didn't really have expectations for this song. Mr. Bill is an undeniably talented producer. He's a technical genius, but I feel like a lot of his music is kind of more focused on that than, I don't know. It's more, it seems often like his music can be more of like a technical showcase, and it doesn't really have anything else to it for me to latch onto. And I was worried that this song would just kind of end up like that, but instead what we got was kind of something that I wish his music was more of, in that it still is a bit of a sound design showcase, but it's just really satisfying and fun to listen to. There's lots of little details, and it has a fun little kind of wonky melody, and that seems to me
Yeah.
like how do you say his name? Noir? No, I don't know how
I
to
thought it
say
was
his
Knor.
name.
Noia.
I call him Knor.
Obviously there's some form regulars, and Mr. Bill is a huge artist. And this is a collab where I personally can kind of hear everyone's influence at different parts in the song. It feels like everyone came together to work to the best of their abilities, and yeah, it's just a really fun song that moves along nicely. It showcases lots of great sound design with kind of fun rhythms and little sound effects, and it just gets better as it goes along. The final part with the percussive bass sound, I don't know how to describe it. That thing is so incredibly satisfying. I can't describe it.
What was your favorite contribution from Joe B?
Honestly, I haven't listened to that much Joby, but I'm sure he did something.
I would have to agree with Ruben, where you could really tell from like the artists that I know, like Derp and Mr. Bill. I could definitely tell who did who when it comes to this song. However, it really isn't my type of music at all.
Yeah.
I this is more of a I respect it more than I like it.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
all respect to the artists, because like this in 24 hours, like the production to me, to my ears, is impeccable. It's amazing. It's literally it's really good for 24 hours. It's insane, actually. So I'll give them that, but my enjoyability of the song isn't really that high.
hmm What I'm curious to know what you guys think, because this didn't make anyone's list except Knowledge's and mine.
It was actually kind of disappointing, but I think when I listen to it more, it'll grow on me. I just expected it to be like huge, but it was more like sound design focused, which I actually
Okay.
really didn't expect. I thought it would be less Mr. Bill heavy and more like form artist heavy, who usually these artists usually make like huge songs, but it was more laid back and sound design heavy. I didn't really
I kind
expect
of
that.
I had like the opposite reaction. I really wasn't expecting to like it, and I ended up really enjoying it.
This was the collaboration I was most excited for on the
Me too.
entire compilation, and I was a bit disappointed. But I feel like that's kind of my own fault, because I did expect it to be something like Spitfire or something like Burn, when both of those songs only featured Noia and Ellie Derp, rather than every other artist that was featured in this one. So it didn't feature Mr. Bill, it didn't feature Joe B or Zenith. I really enjoyed the second half, but the first half I think it lacks. I think it's like Gavin said, it focuses on sound design a bit too much, particularly in the first drop. I don't like how it sort of stops starts. I think it's just a really clunky first drop. I'm not a fan of it, but the second half of the song I think is great. Mainly because I love Ellie Derp's style, and I think that's where it comes across most
Yeah, you can
in the
really hear
second
them
half.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Eli Derp is so good.
Yeah, Eli
I'd
Derp is one
agree.
of my favorite artists right
Oh,
now, I'll
me
be
too.
honest.
Amazing artist.
Yeah.
You know, I personally really love, I guess what this was going for. Like I really like experimental like sound design type music, but I wouldn't really include Mr. Bill in that. I agree with what Ruben said. I think that oftentimes like his music, I guess like sacrifices a lot of the musicality just to, you know, like sound impressive, which I don't really get down with. And I think this song is kind of an example. I think I agree with what a lot of Josh said. I think it's a little clunky. Definitely, you know, I like the sound design a lot, and I think that if it were recontextualized, I would like the song a lot. But it's not really musical to me. It's just like I can't really get into the rhythm or the melody. I think that it would be nice if they kind of like decided whether to go either melodic with it or to go like heavier with it, because it kind of feels like it's trying to do both, and in the end it kind of accomplishes neither. The melody, whatever semblance there is, kind of doesn't really like, it doesn't latch on to me, and you know, by that point I'm kind of already lost. So I thought that this was kind of a miss.
Yeah.
In a way, this kind of feels like a more immersive version, at least in sound design and structure terms, like to Spitfire, I feel like, and like I really appreciate it for that, I guess.
Yeah, for me, there's enough of a melody. You know, it's not the world's greatest melody or anything, but there's enough of it to form a solid backbone to just for them to all just experiment with drums and sound design. And so yeah, for that I really enjoy it. All right, and then everything else on my list has been talked about. Number 4, Moonlight. 3, Rain God. 2, Indigo. And number 1 is It Fits the Last Thing I Do, which is, I love that song.
Yes.
So yeah, on
And
to
the
you,
Grotto,
Knowledge.
The grand finale.
Take it away, Knowledge.
I have 3 songs that haven't been talked about left. And one of those is my number 10 song, which is Roundabout by Adam Daylight. I really like this song because I feel like I have a lot of nostalgia for songs that are styled like this. It kind of seems like an early 2000s song, and I kind of grew up on those things, so I respect it for that. And also kind of reminds me of Passion Pit, and I really like that too. And the vocals are pretty good. Well, not even the vocals, the lyrics. Like, the lyrics go hard, kind of, to be honest, if I'm being fair.
You made a fantastic comparison right there, Knowledge. This really does like remind me of Passion Pit, and I'm really sad that this didn't really make it onto my top 10, but it's definitely up there. And it's also a fantastic intro for this album too.
Yeah, it's a fun song. I love the bouncy little lead in the second half, the kind of plucky sound. But yeah, it just didn't make my list, but yeah, very fun, lighthearted song.
It's one of many songs on this compilation that I think are pretty good, but I wouldn't come back to. I think it's well produced. I like the melody. Unfortunately, it's just not really my style, so I don't think I'd come back to it.
Also, I think it's a pretty good opening track too.
Definitely, I think it epitomizes sort of the all-nighter brand, if you will. Like, I think it sort of epitomizes the comps really well.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, on to the final song of today's video, Knowledge. Bring us there.
No. I still have 2 more.
Oh, my bad. On to the final 2 songs
number
of
9,
today's
I
video.
have
Hello, Knowledge.
Hey, Knowledge.
Knowledge.
He's dying. Don't die on
You
us.
good?
so now
Uh-oh.
No.
We'll
losing him.
never get those final 2 songs.
He's having some issues on the farm right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, in all seriousness though, I actually really like this song. I don't know why.
Wait,
It
what
just
song?
kind
What
of
song?
tucked away.
You cut
What
out.
song, Knowledge?
This is something I would definitely like mow grass to, and I just really like it. It's just a feel good song, you know. At the end of the day.
Oh, what is this
Why are
song?
you guys laughing? This is serious.
Dude, we haven't heard a thing you said in the past 30 seconds. What song are you talking about?
Oh my god.
You cut out for a really long time, Knowledge.
He's gonna get
Oh no.
Now it's come back,
He's gonna
buddy.
come back.
He's gonna come back and he's gonna be like,
Let's
so
mark this
yeah,
out.
let's-
Yeah, I really
Goodbye,
like.
sweet
What
prince.
I really like.
Papa
milking
Ted
my
walked
cows
into the
because
basement and
they're
pulled the big red lever that disconnects their Wi-Fi. You know, in cartoons when they
He's
have
back,
like
You gotta be honest.
No, Knowledge. Okay, what song were you speaking about, Knowledge? What
We
was the
didn't hear
song?
anything you said, Knowledge.
We haven't heard anything you said for about a minute.
Okay, so I don't know. It's just kind of a feel-good song. I like it.
All right, he's trolling. We're getting trolled.
I like the lyrics too. I don't know. I just like it in an
We're
ironic
getting
way.
trolled. Tell us
Oh
what the
my
song
God.
is. Tell us what the song is,
Okay,
or
what is the song?
or Bessie's getting hurt tonight. Knowledge, I'm telling you, say your final words.
Knowledge, I'm gonna come over there with my pitchfork.
With-
You're not
with
gonna
my-
like where I
I'm
put
pulling
it.
up with my
Knowledge,
tranquilizer.
I'm gonna rebrand all your cows. I'm gonna get a cow brander and burn their butts. And
I'm
put
gonna
my
move on to
name
number
on
8 now.
Put
All right,
Gavin
go
South.
right ahead.
Move on to your number 8.
Unfortunate.
Okay, at number 8 I had Little Crush by Webcage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 7 I had Wet Elvin.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 I had Jellyfish Murder Spree.
He sounds so defeated.
And now
He does. He does.
Knowledge, you're doing
And-
great. You're doing great.
Don't
Guys,
listen to
guys.
him.
And at number 5 I have a new song. Okay, you guys might hate me for this one too, but it's the Brazil collab with Yandrel and Hop.
Oh.
Explain.
Bailey Gods and Mongoddess.
True.
What did you just say?
Yes, I actually really
That's
like
the
that
name of the
song.
song.
That song is pretty good.
Bailey Gods and Mongoddess.
What do you
Gods
think about it,
and
Knowledge?
I think it's cool. The first drop is really cool because it's like trappy, and then the last drop is really cool, but it's kind of carried by Zemi with the drum and bass and halftime stuff, and I really like that.
I hope you weren't being held at gunpoint during that, because that's kind of what it sounded like. But yeah. All right. Well, I actually don't. I kind of agree. I mean, it's not one of my favorite songs, but you know, I respect it.
I mean, I also really respect the fact that this is all made by people from Brazil explicitly, and I think that's kind of cool.
Really?
I was waiting
And
for
also,
that.
also the
Okay,
intro's the intro is kind of pretty too.
You're pretty.
Oh,
Oh,
so
Aw.
wholesome. That's so great.
Okay, can we move on? Is anybody else want to talk about the Brazil collab?
Knowledge. Can you talk about your number 9 again, please?
Yeah,
Because we didn't
really
hear a
catch
thing you
that.
said. We didn't hear anything you said about it.
We did not hear any of it.
I like it in an ironic way.
What
Yeah, but
song
what song is it?
What is the number
Oh.
9?
We are being
My number
banned.
nine is Pirate Voice. Is Pirate Voice Storm Shanty.
No way.
There is
There it is. There it is.
The truth. The cat's out of the bag.
Why he didn't say anything. Wow. Wow.
So why do you like this song, Knowledge? Could you explain to us, please?
I like it in an ironic way because it's field back and the vocals are kind of cool. And N-Size on it.
Isn't that
No, he's,
ironic?
no,
And
no,
it's
he's
not
not.
on
No,
it.
he's
It's
not.
not an SI.
It just sounds like him.
Isn't that unironic if you like the vocals?
Also, I
and
really like the lyric that says "Scurvy dog has a curvy sword."
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, in Knowledge's defense, the instrumental. I remember the instrumental for this song being pretty dynamic for a song of its style. It was kind of fun and bouncy, and obviously didn't take itself seriously, but the production was interesting and energetic enough to carry me through the song without feeling bored
Yeah,
or angry.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Ruben. I actually, during the listening party and my second listen through, yeah, it was a pretty fun time. It was a fun time. Not a fun time that I'll come back to. Only when I'm in a pirate mood, I guess. Adding to the sex counter.
Oh.
Oh my god. That was amazing.
All right, is that all?
Knowledge.
I
Carry
believe so.
on.
Okay.
Knowledge
knowledge.
is not related to me,
Please.
Aaron.
To anybody listening, to anybody
Oh,
watching
wait,
at this
Kaitlyn,
point,
that's really funny. It took me a couple seconds, but that's really
I
good,
didn't.
Kaitlyn.
Bow.
I am.
Can I
Thank you.
continue my top 10 from number 4?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
So at number 4 I have Back Off. And at number 3, I have Epoch. Really like that song.
Yes, knowledge.
Good song.
And at number 2, I have
Let's
the
go,
Disdain in FLAVOUR, Martix, and Miss Lena song, Connecting.
Yes.
And then at number 1, I have
Yes.
Rush Flavor.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yes.
Well deserved
Good,
yas for
good
that.
Liz. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Alright.
And that's my list.
I think that's
Good list.
that's everyone, right?
Well, yeah. If
Congratulations.
you've made it to
Yeah.
this point, thank you for watching.
So
If you
much
made
for
it to this
1 hour.
point, what are you doing at
I
Yeah,
don't know how.
Yeah,
but
it's been
you
like
did
two
it.
and a half hours.
if you made it to this point, I
What are you
would
doing?
strongly encourage you to follow me on Twitter at Kaitlyn Comment.
Oh, true.
Shameless
I
promo.
really, yeah.
It's
And
not like
also,
it's not like the
make-
rest of us
and
have
if you're
anything
so-
promo.
I mean,
yeah,
you should subscribe for the novelty, you know.
yeah.
Just be like,
Yeah,
I
get
was,
up to-
true.
you know.
We might come back with a clothing line, maybe. You ever wanted a Ruben plushie? Well,
Ruben
we might-
pullover hoodie.
We might have one.
Your Ruben
We
body.
might have one in store.
Wait, dude, Hideout body pillows. Can we
Oh
please?
my god.
No.
That would wow.
Everyone
Knowledge.
subscribe to Hideout and Bobo Smile.